Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here with the Raptors Digest, here to react to the Raptors' 103-122 loss to the Washington Wizards. Tonight the Washington Wizards handed it to the Toronto Raptors. Game 3 of the series. The series is at home for Washington now. They get a couple games, and they really smoked the Raptors tonight. John Wall, Bradley Beal, 28 points apiece. They played out of their minds tonight, and Gortat played well for them. Oubre, Scott, all their players, they outclassed the Toronto Raptors tonight, and you got to give them credit. This is obviously a more Raptors dominant podcast, but the first thing I want to just do is give credit to the Washington Wizards. They outplayed us tonight. They really handed it to us, and we're gonna have to adjust to them playing at this high level. So give the Wizards credit. They played well, but there was a couple really big issues with the Toronto Raptors game tonight. And we'll talk about the first one is the three-point shooting. Live and die by the three. We've been doing it all year. You know, when the three's cooking, the offense looks nasty. You know, the Toronto Raptors with moving the ball, but tonight the open shots were not going down. The bench just couldn't get any offense going. A lot of that was because they just weren't getting open looks. That's partly because of the Wizards' defense, and just some open shots weren't falling. CJ Miles, 9 points tonight, but when the Raptors were making a run to get back into the game, it seemed like CJ had an open three every time to, break it to within 8 or, just cut down on the lead. And every time he had that open look, it just seemed to go in and out, pop out, and that was demoralizing for the team. That was really need to hit, and he hit it in the game 2 against the Wizards. CJ's been great this series. Tonight wasn't a good look, but really want to hit those shots when you can get the momentum building. Basketball is a game of runs. Siakam, he wasn't too bad, but the Raptors need shot creation off the bench. DeLon Wright couldn't put the ball in the bucket. He only had 6 points. Yak only got 10 minutes tonight, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Just no one stood out. They weren't mobbing. They were an average bench tonight. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about, the bench mob. That's our biggest advantage over teams. Because DeMar Lowry, great superstar players, all-star, top-notch guys. But Bradley Beal and John Wall are also top-notch guys. The reason the Raptors have been better than all these teams in the Eastern Conference is because they've had DeMar and Lowry playing solid, right? They've been playing like star players. They don't need to, be Lowry and DeMar last year doing everything. But they're playing like they're stars, and then the bench would just decimate the other team's role players. And we need that. That's a integral part. There are big three: DeMar, Lowry, and the bench mob. That's the only way to put it. And I guess our third best player, individual player, also didn't show up tonight. Serge Ibaka, 3 points for Serge. He had the same amount of points as turnovers from Serge Ibaka tonight. Only 4 shots. Yeah, we can't have that out of Serge. And we've talked about it before. Serge is in his 2 years with us, 2.5, whatever. He's been one of our better playoff contributors, most consistent. But it really wasn't there for Serge tonight. Didn't have anything going. The Wizards adjusted. Saw that Serge has been having a couple big games. Focused in on him. And Jonas, he was pretty solid offensively again. 14 points, 5 rebounds. But man, just when they put John Wall in a pick and roll with Jonas, it's one of the messiest looks I've to watch. As a basketball fan, it's tough to see Jonas guarding John Wall in the pick and roll. But I don't know. That's something that Dwayne Casey will adjust for. I trust Casey in doing it. He will bounce back. Game 4 will be a huge game for the Toronto Raptors. I'm not worried necessarily just because of this one loss. A game's a game. We got to see how Toronto bounces back. We always play well when we hit some adversity. I really want to see how Toronto comes out Game 4. And if we can get Game 4, that would be a huge confidence boost. Cleveland just lost the Indiana Pacers. We don't know who's coming out of that series, but if it's Indiana, we'll worry about Indiana. But if it's Cleveland, we want to be as confident as we can because obviously they've had our number in the past. We want to get through the series as fast as possible. So Game 4 will be a huge game for the Toronto Raptors. But enough with the negatives. This game was already sad enough. There's 3 players that really impressed me. Now, obviously, DeMar and Kyle, they didn't shoot their greatest, the percentages, but DeMar had 23 points, Lowry with 19 and 8. It was just not a great night from the backcourt, but solid. There's no trash bros memes coming out after this game. They held their own. It was just the role players that didn't have it tonight, and you're not going to have it every night. Teams aren't going to have it. It's all you can do. But the man I really want to talk about, the OG's man himself, OG Anunoby. 12 points for the Raptors tonight, 3 rebounds, but we say it every time OG has a good game. It doesn't reflect the box score that much. OG's defense, he's shooting the ball with confidence. He's cutting. He just knows basketball. He knows what to do on the court with his skill set. He's starting to become more confident with the jump shot. His defense is ridiculous. He's hit 4 for 5 from the field tonight. I really, if there's one thing to take out of this game, along with all the others, OG's development as a rookie. He's a rookie. He's one. I'm really excited for OG's future. Usually these young players come in, especially in their rookie seasons, they don't perform in the playoffs. They're not known for doing that, especially if you're a later pick waiting for some development. But OG, he hit a rookie wall in the regular season. Just shout out to OG Anunoby. Man's going to be a top-notch player in this league. And his defense on whoever he was guarding, the team defense was bad tonight for the Toronto Raptors, but OG as an individual, I was really impressed how he moves, his stance. Stripped John Wall at one point. John Wall had the ball, just dribbled at the top. OG got those mitts in there, yanked that out. It was like one of those toys in the arcade. Just reached down, stole that ball, went down, and John Wall, obviously frustrated, fouled OG for an easy dunk. But I don't know. I was really impressed with OG. That's the main thing I want to talk about this game. There wasn't any other real highlights. OG in our backcourt. Lorenzo Brown got some minutes tonight. He got a lot of run. And Dwayne Casey. Now, we can love him, hate him. He's been great this season. But one thing that really impressed me about what he did, he's taken risks. It didn't pay off tonight, but during the fourth quarter, he ran a lineup with Pascal Siakam at center. And I thought that was a really smart move. We needed some energy. We needed to get something going, get some oomph, and running Siakam at the center might be obviously I don't think we've seen it yet this season, but that could be a crazy quick lineup. And I don't know, I was really impressed that Dwayne Casey had the guts to make a move like that. Didn't end up working out, and it looked like the Toronto Raptors were actually going to make a run with that lineup, but then obviously we missed a couple open threes, and then who else? Bradley Beal or someone come back down, splash a contested three. That's just how this game went. We're going to try and get through this game, but I guess we'll go straight into the segments. This was Raptors fans that watched it. I'm sure you're tired of me rambling about this mess enough. We're going to go straight into the segments. Tonight, the DeGoat play of the day. Tonight, it's going to DeMar DeRozan. There was a point at the end of the game. The game was kind of over, but Kelly Oubre played some good defensive on DeMar at one possession. DeMar came down, made a little move, and hooked up this fadeaway. He got slapped on both of his wrists. It was the most blatant foul. They didn't call it, but the fans were cheering as the shot was in the air. It had a high arc, rolled around the rim. Fans were cheering as they thought it was an obvious miss, but DeMar dropped one of the most ridiculous fadeaways I've ever seen that wasn't called a foul. So, I don't know. DeGoat's getting the DeGoat play of the game tonight. And if DeGoat's getting the DeGoat play, and some plays make you say, oh, geez, right? Because all plays can't be the DeGoat play. The OG's play of the day got to go to OG himself. For at the beginning of the game, this game was very chippy. This is another thing that I want to mention. The Wizards were really aggressive with the Toronto Raptors, and obviously the Raptors don't back down for any fights. Any team with Serge Ibaka is not going to back down from any confrontation. But Markieff Morris tried to get all up in OG at the beginning of the game. OG was having none of that. He's a young Kawhi. I don't think Markieff Morris knows that. trying to get all aggressive. OG stood his ground. Little conflict. You don't really expect that out of OG, a rookie, quiet guy. Made me say OGs when they got into a little scuffle. And finally, the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award, the Doobies Award for the part of the game reminds you Damari Carroll the player, not the person. He's a good guy, but just watching him get that feeling back. You got that feeling when you're watching this game. But tonight goes to Serge Ibaka. He really didn't have it tonight. We did not see playoff Serge out there. Want to see him bounce back game 4. I trust he will get a couple days rest. But yeah, and another one that it could have gone to, could have been the OG's play as well. Pascal Siakam, kind of in garbage time at the end of the game, got crossed really bad by, I believe it was Bradley Beal. The paint wasn't even a great crossover, but Pascal, I'm assuming it was Bradley Beal, just stopped. He dropped back. Whenever a player falls, they're getting the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award. As much as I love Siakam and Serge, but that's all I want to talk about this game. Raptors fans, don't get too hung up over this loss. Obviously, it's a tough one to take in. We all were hoping for a sweep, and it was a tough way to lose. But really, we're gonna see what this Raptors team is made out of Game 4. How we bounce back from adversity against a confident Wizards team. If we can get that win on the road, I will be very confident going into the rest of the playoffs. If we can't, I still believe we'll be good. But Game 4 will be a huge test for the Raptors. Let us know what you guys think of this game, what we should expect coming up for Game 4. We're going to start previewing all of the games coming up. I'm finished my semester. Riker will be finished in a week or so. So hoping to get more and more content out to you guys now that we're all freed up for time. So you guys are the best for coming back, listening to the pods. Shout out to all you guys, Raptors fans. We're good. Check out the Twitter, check out the Instagram of the Raptors Digest. Always helps us out to look at our stuff. And thanks for listening.